I said in the introduction as well, Martin, it was a great night, a mixed night in Europe for the British sides, because Liverpool got a great result. So too did Rangers, and it might have been even greater. And they managed to prevent the equaliser 2-1 for Benfica, but a 2-2 draw in Lisbon. Benfica 2, Rangers 2, quite a scoreline. Funnily enough, in Glasgow last Sunday night, I was talking to Philippe Clement, Martin, and I said to him, can you get past Benfica? You can get past anyone, he said, if you prepare right.
Not happy.
If you prepare right. So we'll talk about that in 1 second. It was a considerable result, and everybody in Europe stood up and thought, wow, are Rangers destined for another final? This was Clement post-match.
No, not happy. I think we were really close by writing history here. This team never lost an European Europa League game at home, and we were close on this evening. So you're not happy about that, but I'm proud about my team. That's another thing. They showed really team mentality. They showed the right things. We score good goals. We get unlucky goals against, both of them. Otherwise, it would have been amazing. But now it's a really strong performance of my team. And they showed really character and also quality on the ball.
That is a standout result, to be honest, Martin, but it's only job half done, isn't it? Now they want to finish them off at Ibrox. But do you know what? Rangers are unbeaten in 9 home matches in the Europa League, beating plenty of big clubs at home. On the way to their final in 2022, Leipzig, Dortmund, Porto Feyenoord, Benfica themselves, to name a few, have all failed to win at Ibrox in recent seasons. What a chance they've got, have they not?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that performance that season put them right back on the map, didn't it, in European terms. Last night I thought the goalkeeper was absolutely magnificent last night. Butland is now looking like a new animal. He's a second coming almost. I know there's more confidence from him. He talks much better. He's feeling like he's a proper keeper now, and he was really stood up to them. And they went ahead twice in the game. They were under the cosh though, Jim, somewhat. And Benfica have slipped a little bit. They lost to Porto 5-0 last weekend, which is just a tip to the Arsenal game next week. Porto coming into town very much in good form. So who play tonight and get an extra 24 hours rest, just getting that in about Arsenal's what they've got coming up. But no, really good. West Ham late goal that they conceded. Zuma didn't come out of that one well. It switched off a little bit in the box, but they should have gone in front in that game. West Ham, lots of different chances in the game.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
But to what Brighton is a shock, though, Jim, to see them get battered in that way.
Yeah, I mean, they're a clinical lot, Roma, under De Rossi, who's really got them going post Mourinho. This is a different outfit now because Mourinho complained that he didn't get what he wanted from the players. De Rossi's getting that and more.
Well, unarguably so. I mean, but I think we focus, for the purpose of this conversation, on Rangers' achievement.
Right.
Because Rangers have gone to, irrespective, if you get beat 5-0, there tends to be a bounce-back effect. And there wasn't, to some extent, because Rangers were in a situation where they could have won this game. And I think what he's doing, I'm a huge admirer of Clement's. I think it's great for the Scottish Premier League that they're competing in Europe in meaningful tournaments. And I think it's a great result to go over there and nearly come away with a victory. And be probably dissatisfied that you've got a draw against a team that's second in their table. Yes, they got their head handed to them the other day, but notwithstanding that, they're still a formidable side. So I think Rangers and the manner in which this manager has got them together is a really very, very... I mean, with all due respect to Michael Beale, I don't want to pour more vitriol on top of the stuff that he's already gotten, but it shows a difference between managers and people that want to be managers. It's night and day. Clement has got Rangers to be a formidable outfit. That if I might even see if I can find my way up to Ibrox at the beginning of April to watch that 12 o'clock game between Rangers and Celtic, because I think that will determine the outcome of the Scottish Premier League.
Oh, listen to you.
No, I'm just fascinated by it because I think it's really interesting to watch a manager come in and take a dead duck in people's eyes and turn it into something that looks very different.
Yes.
And to play a team like Benfica, who are in part, Eusebio connection, all that sort of stuff, a legendary and sort of iconic football team from Portugal, and Scottish teams that are constantly derided and ridiculed for their participation in Europe, with the exception of Rangers a few years ago against Eintracht Frankfurt and their league. I think it's a good endorsement, and I think he's a proper manager, this guy.
I mean, I'll put it out there. Could the Ibrox crowd be a decisive factor in Rangers making it to the quarterfinals? I think yes. One note going into that, it's a 5:45 kickoff next Thursday, Rangers Benfica. But the crowd, ask them, they'll be there. You don't need to ask them, they'll be there, and they'll be there in great voice. Rangers fans, do you fancy yourselves to go deeper in this tournament, as Simon says, rallied, buoyed up by this fella Philippe Clement, who has made one hell of a difference to you? 03717 223344. In Clement, do you trust? I think you do. 81089. From a Liverpool perspective, Martin, and we'll get to them now, they will go into Sunday's massive Premier League game with Manchester City on the back of a 7th straight win after thumping Sparta Prague 5-1 over there. A double last night. Núñez made it 5 goals in his last 4. And Klopp spoke about Núñez post-match.
More than okay first season, but he had to adapt. That's done, settled, in the middle of the team. Wonderful guy, wonderful boy, loves to play for this team, this club, together with these boys, and has quality. It's coming out of his ears, to be honest, so the quality he has. But it's like strikers are. Sometimes they score, sometimes they don't score. Is he already at his absolute peak in general? Not now for us. Or can he develop? Yes. But is he a threat all the time? Yes, as well. And he has the most important attitude a striker needs to have.
Martin, Núñez, is it his mentality rather than quality that's got him to the top here, that's making him headline news?
Well, he showed a good mentality because he didn't really arrive until now. And Klopp is actually, he's the player now that Klopp 40 signed. He's outstanding right now. Those 2 finishes last night were really top draw. And everything's coming off fantastic. I think he came from Benfica, Jim, and they played against them, Liverpool, in the Champions League. And it was, as an audition, you'd never seen a better one. The performances against Van Dijk. And we kind of like, we were billing him, weren't we, with Haaland last year in the Community Shield final when he first arrived.
Yeah.
And everyone thought, is he on the same level? But I think now he's proving that. I know he misses plenty. In actual fact, him and Haaland have missed the most opportunities this season. Gilt-edged chances, the two of them. They're up there in the sort of mid-20s, the pair of them. But he's got 25 goal involvements now, Jim. He's alongside Mo Salah, who's coming back into the fray, which is really good news as well. And I thought they managed their minutes well. They will have 24 hours less to recover than Man City at the weekend. And it'd be the last time we can see Klopp and Pep, those two master chess players, go head-to-head. I think it's going to be a wonderful game. It'd be the last game of the Sunday.
Yeah.
So we should all, clunk-click, strap in tight to watch what hopefully will be an epic match between them. And if Arsenal can win their game,
steady, Martin.
Maybe they're Arsenal looking for a draw there.
Who was talking about Arsenal there, Simon? Who was talking about Arsenal?
Well, it's a 3-horse race, but if you might have forgotten.
Simon, here's the deal. Roma are still in there. Of course they are, after doing a job in Brighton. Liverpool going great guns and going well. Can you see anything other than Liverpool's name on the trophy, or might Roma be the team that might spike them in the end if they were to meet in the final?
I think, Liverpool are a far better side than Brighton, and a far more experienced side than Brighton. Brighton are a work in progress and a team that's doing remarkably well, and maybe some of their desire to play the way they want to, combined with a little bit of European naivety, contributed to their undoing yesterday. But I don't really see injuries to one side and the depletion of a squad and pursuing four trophies, any reason why Liverpool won't arrive in the final of the Europa League. And I think with Klopp in the vein of form that he's in now in finals, I think he'll win that final.
They're inspired, aren't they, Liverpool? I mean, Jim, how many goals have they scored in the 90th minute or so? It's remarkable what we're seeing. And they've had all the kids out recently, and then hopefully all the best players then return back to the fold. And then there's that pressure, there's that competition for places.
Yeah.
But they're still, though, really stretched, this squad at the moment. And if you look at City going into this weekend, they were able to rest, weren't they? De Bruyne, Silva, Foden, all these guys, Stones only played 22 minutes. So everyone's getting a lot of rest for City, and they're the sort of assassins, they're passing assassins that will take you apart. So that's going to be one hell of a game. But where they're inspired right now, with Klopp leaving, announcing when he did, we all talked about how that factor would improve them. I think it has certainly improved.
I think it's played a big part in it as well. Beware Marseille, who did a job in Villarreal last night, 4-0, got 3 in the first half, so they might be a threat to Liverpool if they go deeper. But many Rangers fans are saying, saying we will go deep in this tournament. We will overcome Benfica. The famous Glasgow Rangers fear no foe, says Big Malky, the taxi driver. Oof, I think I might know him. And there's Abby, another Rangers fan. Cannot wait for Ibrox. It will be rocking next week. Rangers are punching in Europe. So in Clermont, do you trust? It appears you do. 03717 223344. And Liverpool fans, are you going to go all the way through to this final and win the thing in Klopp's final hurrah? If you like, you can send me a message 81089 or give us a call 03717 223344.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.